Hey everybody, how we all doing today? This is JaySquatch Gaming. I'm Jay, and welcome to Rimworld, Episode 2. So we start today's episode right where we left off, at the dawn of the next day, with Phoebe running off to start hauling the rest of our loot back to our storage area that we've created. And soon after, we're offered the chance to rename our colony and our faction. Let's see, what are we going to do? And Northern Lucia sounds pretty good to me. My mind's kind of running a blank on decent names. That sounds fine. We're just going to run it. And in the meantime, while everyone's running around just kind of doing their thing, we're going to start plans on actually getting set up with some bedrooms for our colonists. That's going to end up giving them a small mood boost to not have to share a room with everybody else, essentially. And on top of that, it just feels nice. We get to make their rooms pretty for them later on. Everybody gets to be happy. We'll be in good shape. So Mal's already gotten to work on that right away. And after making some pretty decent progress, we discover an ancient danger over towards the eastern side of our map, and that looks pretty sizable, so I'm excited to pop that open at some point. Though a little apprehensive, because it could be terrible. And we're going to start off, finally, with our first research, the battery. That's going to allow us to store power from things like our wind turbines, solar power, anything that's kind of intermittent. We'll even that out. And we're also going to start preparing. Basically, this is going to transform into our dining hall in this section here. So I'm going to start building our freezer that we're going to have. And we're going to rearrange the furniture for the colonists as well. And while Dupree sleeps in a little bit, Mal and Phoebe continue working. Mal working on the walls, and Phoebe, I think, is running around doing a little bit more hauling. They finish up moving the furniture for us, very nice. And in the meantime, another setback strikes. We've got a heat wave hitting our base now, which means it's going to get pretty uncomfortable for our guys. They're all going to have to be sleeping in the heat. So we set up these passive coolers, and that's hopefully going to keep the temperature, at least inside, at a livable one. And Dupuy and Phoebe are getting married. Good for them. Congratulations. This turned into quite an eventful day. And back to the topic of the heat stroke. The heat stroke, if you leave your colonists outside with nowhere to cool down, they will get heat stroke. And that can be very problematic for us. They can end up downed, we have to send somebody else out to pick them up. And if they get heat stroke and pass out as well, and everybody's just laying on the ground helpless, everybody's, we're pretty much done for at that point. What we're going to do here to avoid that is we're going to pick somebody, I think Dupuy, to chop down some trees to get some more wood, obviously, because we're out. Or planning on my part. We're going to prioritize him to do that so that we make sure that it gets done before everybody goes to sleep tonight. And hopefully everybody wakes up happy. No sleep yet, Phoebe. That cooler's not finished yet. And at the end of another very eventful day, everybody settles in once more. And Dupree is up with the sun to get back to work on that tree cutting job we gave him yesterday. Quickly followed by Mal. Phoebe's the late one today. Well, I guess we'll forgive her for that. She did finish the cooler. And what I'm doing here is I'm changing the clothing allowances on our colonists so that they won't wear anything in too poor condition. Because as soon as the clothing drops down to 50%, they get a negative mood bonus for wearing it. We also disable drug use for our colonists as well, mainly because, drug addiction later on in the game, if you just let them use it willy-nilly, that can cause some serious issues. Now we're finally going to start plans for our food storage area and cooler. We're also going to need something to power said cooler. But in the meantime, we've had a drop pod come down. We'll get back to the cooler later. What are the stats looking like? That's not bad. Unfortunately, we're kind of in a rough spot right now and can't afford to take on anybody else. And we've just put down a blueprint for our nutrient paste dispenser. What this is going to do is it's essentially going to turn anything that we put into it into very efficient but disgusting food for our colonists. So the nutrient paste is, like I said, some pretty nasty stuff, but it will keep them fed, and this also completely negates the possibility of getting food poisoning, which is a pretty good bonus. And we've also started putting down some wooden floors in our colonists' bedrooms, or bedrooms to be, and in order to kind of spice it up a little bit, make it a little less ugly. Shortly after, everyone heads back to bed. Then in the early morning, a little bit before everybody's woken up, we set out plans for our wood fuel generator, which is going to essentially feed our cooler and the nutrient paste dispenser. We'll need some conduits to connect those, and then some hoppers to feed our food into the machine for us. And right after that, Phoebe is up and at it. Everybody grabs their last meal before the nutrient paste dispenser comes into effect. And we're going to have them set to cut a little bit more wood for us. Supplies are running low after all. While that's all happening, some cargo pods have dropped nearby. Let's go have a look at what exactly that brings us. So 125 units of berries, which is nice, because we were running real low on food there for a minute, so that may be... That's a big one for us, despite it not being worth very much monetarily. We'll have everybody haul that right back to base. And now with our colonists' bedrooms, well, new bedrooms, fully walled and floored, we can actually move their beds in. I'd say that's a big improvement for them, moving out of that dirt-floored hut to something more resembling an actual room. Later on, we'll add the niceties and amenities and things like that, but for now, this is a decent step up. Everybody finishes hauling back those berries, depositing that into our hoppers, and get to cleaning up the base a little bit. And we're going to put a granite door in here, actually, because that little L shape is going to be the access for the coolers that we use in the freezer. We're going to also use the exhaust from that to run down along that L into the back side of our colonists' rooms to heat that during the winter. And our generator has also broken down, unfortunately, leaving our colonists with no source of food other than to eat it raw. We'll have to get on that as soon as humanly possible. And with that sorted, all is right with the world once again. See, this is one of those situations where the batteries would have been huge. We're running a bit of an excess. We could have stored that and used it while the generator was broken. And one thing I would like to do is change our food restrictions as well. We're going to adjust that so that they cannot eat anything but our terrible, disgusting nutrient paste. Sorry, guys. And now that we've got a little bit more downtime, most of our immediate issues are taken care of, let's take some time to throw a floor down, finally, in our dining area. Now, the wooden floors are very nice because they're neutral in looks, but very quick to lay down. The downside here is that they burn really quick, so we're going to have to be careful about that until we can start laying down stone floors, which is my personal preference. And now that that's finished up, this is really kind of starting to look like a home, in a way. Night falls, everybody's hanging out. Dupree and Mal, they're playing horseshoes. It's almost peaceful, isn't it? But before anybody can really get too much sleep, a pack of man-hunting cats is attacked. However, apparently, one constitutes a pack. Oh, we're just gonna... It shouldn't be much of an issue, right? We'll send, yeah, let's send Dupree. Or no. We'll send Mal. Get the gun. Run, quick. They're coming. This is not ideal positioning. I kind of dropped the ball on this one. We should have been ready. But I think we should be able to take him down, right? No problem. Oh, well, one's down. Alright, we got a couple more. Oh, come on, kid. Shoot the shot. No. Alright, so it's just gonna descend into an all-out brawl, where we send 3 grown human beings to eat a cat. This doesn't feel right, but he started it, alright? It's his fault. Oh man, Mal is getting beat up. This is not good. Come on, guys, run faster. Oh, Dupree took a hit, but that was just one. He should be fine. We've got to focus on getting Mal some help. A death in 9 hours by bleeding? From a fight with a cat? Oh no, and Dupree is our only doctor as well. We'll have to get him back up out of bed. And we'll have to turn on the self-tend as well, because yeah, he's the only one with really any medical skills. So Dupree, once again, saves the day, patches Mal up. She's going to have to stay in bed for a while, but I think Dupree's going to make it just fine. But that's all I've got for you today, folks. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Really helps me out, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.